Thank you very much. Before us, we have copies of the university anthem and the university prayer. But because of time, I would like us to sing. We shall start by singing one stanza of the Uganda national anthem, and then we shall recite the university prayer. Then after that, we shall have remarks from the Dean of Students. After the Dean has communicated to us, we shall have remarks from the academic registrar, because he has other meetings. He will have to communicate to us. After the academic registrar, we shall have Dr. Ann talk to us. After Dr. Ann Agaho has communicated to us, and then we shall have His Excellency communicating to us thereafter. So I would like to request a volunteer to take us through one stanza of the Uganda national anthem, and then we shall have the university prayer. Can I have a volunteer from the audience?
Yes. Thank you. Good morning. Let's write down for the Oh God, thank you for bringing us together at this time. Pray for your continued blessing upon us and our responsibility for the growth and involvement of this institution. We ask for your guidance and inspiration so that whatever we do and all of us, may your name be glorified forever and ever.
Thank you very much, Our Excellency, the Vice President. Ladies and gentlemen, we can take up our seats as we welcome the fellow students to talk to us. Dean, you're welcome.
Thank you, Speaker, the Academic Registrar, Dean School of Social Sciences, Dean President, the Vice President, my colleague, the IT specialist, all new students. On my own behalf and on behalf of the office and the management, I welcome you to Nkumba University. Thank you for choosing Nkumba University. Nkumba University has two centers. It has the main, two campuses, the main and the Kampala campus. I'm the Dean of Students, as I was introduced. I am your father and mother when you join the university. I am your voice when it comes to academic matters and welfare. So and social. I don't want you to have any fears when you get down to low academic progress. If you have any problem that you want to confide in me, you'll get my number, you call me. I'll always be here on Wednesdays every week and Sundays in the afternoon for the weekend. Nkumba is 25 years old now. I'm an alumni of that university. The only pioneer still. We are three, the others are in academic, I'm in administrative. So I have seen Nkumba revolved since 1994. I know the honors, you can't deceive me. When it comes to academics, the Dean and the Academic Registrar are going to talk about them. I don't want to talk about that area. My area was to welcome you to Nkumba University, and I wish you a nice orientation. This orientation is going to go on until 5. We expect the Vice Chancellor to talk to you at 4. So after the morning sessions and you go for lunch, don't go, you come back. I welcome the Governor, Kampala Campus, Madame Nampera. Thank you for joining us. She's going to be your good president this side, but she has to report to him. He's the overall. So I don't want you to call her the good president. She's the governor this side. Let me welcome the Academic Registrar to give his brief remarks, then he goes back to attend to another assignment.
I beg you to be excused to remove this, and I'll request the others to wear yours, please. Thank you, Dean of Students, and the protocol observed. Can you clap for me, please? Is a chartered private university. You can clap for that as well. Chartered university. So we are known by National Council for Higher Education, and your qualifications from Nkumba University will be internationally, regionally, and nationally recognized. So you are in the right place. Don't regret your choice, cherish it, and continue with it. So we chartered in 2007, but the Ministry of Education approved us 2006. Now, since I've mentioned the National Council for Higher Education, for National Council for Higher Education to defend you, to defend your qualifications, and to oversee the way you are trained at Nkumba University, they require that you pay them 20,000 per year. So each year you remain on the program, you pay them 20,000. And you deposit the pay slips in the banks. You don't pay it to Nkumba University, you pay it to National Council for Higher Education. So this is a message to all new students so that you are aware from the word go. Now, as you stay with us and the person will be talking to you, you should know how to pay your dues to the university using your portal. And if you get complications, you have administrative assistants and the IT people here, academic registrar, and the finance department to help you to go through that exercise. We request you to register with the university. That's important. We request you to register with the university. If you don't register with the university, you are not known to us. It's only registered students that are defended by the university. So what does it mean to register? To register means you have to pay some money to the university. Then there is some transaction that takes place. You get our receipt, your receipt is stamped, and you register with the academic registrar. And you have a formula. If your parents or yourself, you are in a position to pay it all, as per your admission, you pay the whole amount. But we have known in Uganda what it is. Some parents cannot pay the whole amount at once. So we have a policy whereby you can pay 40% in the first month. If you fail to pay that on the first month, there is a surcharge. There is a fine of 50,000 because you have failed to register within the first month. And that surcharge is only once, that first month. And again, something will be tied to the first month. After some 6 weeks, an entire university will carry out a test. And that test will only be transacted by those who are paid 40%. And I will talk about that test as it relates to continuous assessment. Say if you pay 40% first month, second month 40%, and the last month before I do exams, you pay 20%. So that's a user-friendly policy, user-friendly. Now you are admitted to the university to attend all lectures, to attend all courses that are stipulated for you for that semester. So attendance should be at around 75%. And some schools are so strict, if you don't attend that percentage, you are not allowed to sit for exams. So attend all your lectures, and I will give you my personal trick. If you attend every day, or every time that you are supposed to attend, you have already scored 70% of your examination and of your coursework. Because you will know where your lecturers put emphasis, you will know where they emphasize, and you can never go wrong. And by doing so, you are not taking. When you go home, you are not making. So attend to all your lectures, please. Now here we will not talk too much of co-curricular, but we will have activities taking place at Kampala campus. So attend to those co-curricular, and your governor will tell you more about that. Now here you have a library. Knowledge is kept in some books, and the knowledge is out there online, and there is e-learning as well. There is e-library. Attend to all that. Great people use library. And whatever you do practically, or even other, when you have to create theory, the theories are already in the books. And Europeans always say to the Africans that if you want to keep anything away from the African, put it in a book. They will never open it, they will never read it. So gain a reading culture by using the library. My trick I always make, I'll begin doing it here at Kampala campus. I enter when everybody has left and gone home. I normally put a 50,000 note in one book, and I check after 1 month. At times I find that money there. After the second month, that money is still there. It means the book has never been pulled out of the shelves and has never been used. So please, I'm requesting you to open the books, read them, and get the knowledge that is found in the books, and get the theories that are found in the books. So libraries are crucial, and when we are being chartered, they always check whether the university has got a library. And when they were chartering again this campus, they checked on your library. So use the library, please. Now, when you are admitted and you have started transacting class, do your coursework. Do your coursework. It's what you do every day that becomes a true picture of you. It's not the examination. It's what you do every day that becomes a true picture of who you are. And check your course outline. The first lecture you attend, make sure the lecturer that talks to you or lectures to you request for a course outline. You are entitled to a course outline so that you know how to proceed from day 1 to the 15th week. So demand to get a course outline. And you can even carry on your own teaching once you have a course outline, because you know what will follow. So demand, some coursework carries 30, other coursework carries 40, but for some practical courses, it carries 60. So know your course outline, and so the course outline that they will spell out how coursework will be administered and how it will be computed to your final exam. Now, when it comes to examination, make sure you don't fall sick a day before the examination. Do your exams and transact your examinations, please. To transact the examination, you should have paid to zero balance. So your permit to sit exams is transacted using what you are paid. If it's not zero balance, the permit does not print. Your admin assistant will not print the permit because you have not paid to zero balance. So it's only those who are paid to zero balance that sit for exams. Now, my duty as academic registrar is to admit you to check whether you are admissible, to see that you are taught, to see that you do your coursework, to see that you sit for exams, to see that your results, you are marked and your results are transacted by Senate. They are either passed by Senate, to either just say you are failed or you are passed, and I record that exercise. I keep the results of your transaction during the examination. So I keep the results, and they are also kept at school level. So at the end, my other duty is to graduate you. If your course is 3 years, don't remain here for 5 years. Don't become a perpetual student or a permanent student and gain a career out of being a student. To admit, to have you taught, to have you examined, to transact your exams, results, and to keep your grades. Now, if you don't pass well in your examination, you are free to have a retake. A retake. Now, semester system has got that transaction, and in our Senate rules and regulations, you have that provision. You can have a second trial, but a retake is transacted at 100,000. To apply for a retake, you pay 100,000, and it's the academic registrar plus your dean that sanctions that. You apply officially to the retake. And if by any reason you fall sick before the examination takes place, you can ask to sit for a missed paper. Because you already have the knowledge, you only apply to sit for that paper when it's next offered. And you have no special exams at Nkumba University. So you sit during examination season to do the retake and to do the missed paper. Now our semester is 15 weeks. So we shall count from 1st March to a particular date when you count 15 weeks. Then we shall begin exams using 2 weeks. So all in all is 17 weeks of transaction. And that's how we compute the credit units. Now, if you are limited to a certificate, a 1-year certificate, you can go on for 2 years. If it's a 2-year certificate, you can go on for 3 years. If it's a diploma of 2 years, you can go on for 3 years. There is always a year given to you because of semester. And if it's a bachelor's, which is not school of law, 3 years, you go on for 5 years. So you are free to ask for a semester as a daily semester. You can go away for a semester if you cannot transact to get money. You can apply to go away for a semester, or you can apply to go away for a entire year, and we call that one a daily year. Even all those 2 daily semester, daily year, you apply for them, you pay for them, and they are granted by academic registrars. So semester system is a user-friendly. Now, if I tell you to go over the years that is stipulated for you, to extend from years to 5 years. If you go beyond 5 years, you can ask for dispensation through your dean, and you give valid reason. And we have another word called the amnesty. You can apply for amnesty, and it's also granted by academic registrar through again your dean. So amnesty, you reapply anew. You get a new admission because your time expired. So you go back to the admission process by paying for admission process because your years have elapsed. Now, when to apply for a dead semester, a dead year, you apply at the beginning, you don't apply at the end. When you foresee that you are not going to attend a semester, you apply before, not after. Now, during examination, don't be tempted to go in with unrequired materials. Or don't even assist a neighbor in an examination setting. Don't whisper, don't sit in another person's place. Impersonation, if you are caught, you appear before a research, a Senate malpractice committee, a Senate examination committee, where you may pay heavily, where you may be sent away from the university, depending on the gravity of what you have committed during the examination time. So don't be tempted to do any of those. Now I will end by announcing that important people in the university here at Kampala Campus know your director. He's here. He can even stand once again. Know your director at Kampala Campus. He represents us at this campus. And if anything happens to you, and in confidence, you can always go to him. Go to him for anything. Go to him. At least he will listen to you. And his door is open. Even when he is away, his door is open. Arrange with the admin to have conference with him. May I ask the admin to stand? The admin in Kampala Campus to stand, please. Mr. Kitaka is your administrative assistant. And he represents my office here. So you go to him. The librarian is Mr. Suwa. He's also here at time. Anything to do with the library, please talk to him. He can assist you to access information in the library. We have only one thing here, Dean of Students, and he has come here to on Wednesdays and Sundays, presently your issue. Now, the other heads of departments are at the main campus, and your deans, whatever is studied here, the deans are specialized and they are seated at the other campus. But they can be called upon to attend to from this end. And the dean of Dr. Abao here, and the Abao represents all the deans in this forum. Those who are attending from the other campus, all the other deans, but they are sincere the capacity of recruiting all deans at this campus. So sincere that capacity. Not have their numbers so that you can reach them easily. And even know the numbers of your heads of departments. Academic registrar's number is on the calendar, so you cannot miss it. So know those numbers for easy transaction during your stay here at the university, please. And don't call Kampala Campus a second class citizen in Nkumba University. You are first class citizens. You are part of us. You can transact most of the business as those students who are at the main campus. So you are not second class. And once in a while, take a taxi, come and visit, walk around. And we can even give you a person to take you around so that you know your main campus. You belong to us and transact everything as you should. Otherwise, I end here and I wish you a safe stay with us and feel good to be part of us. Can you clap for me, please?
Thank you very much, our academic registrar. Thank you for taking us through what you're supposed to do as new students. Dear students of Kampala campus, like he said, the gates of the main campus are very open. You're welcome. And when you come around, please, the office of the guild will be very ready to take you around the main campus. Please, you're very welcome. Feel free and come at any time. Thank you very much. We continue to welcome the director of Kampala campus. Sir, thank you for joining us. And the governor of Kampala campus, thank you very much for joining us. Permit me, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome our Dr. Ann to talk to us at this time. Thank you.
The academic registrar has had me enough time to talk, so it is okay for him to go just before I begin.
I beg to leave.
A protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Is that how strong Kampala campus is? Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Dr. Ann Amako. I am here on my behalf and on behalf of the Dean of Education, the Dean School of Business, the Dean School of Sciences, Industrial Art and Design, and School of Law. What I am going to say to you is not so much different from what they have said, because the rules and principles that guide you as students of Nkumba University are the same. We appreciate you for having chosen Nkumba University and having joined us from the Kampala campus. We hope that by the time you chose to identify with us, you will also remain part of us during and after. And by after, I mean that even many years later, when you have graduated, you will still be willing to identify with Nkumba University. The academic registrar has spoken about second class. Do not identify yourselves, do not refer to yourselves as second class citizens of Nkumba University or second class campus. The reason is because most of the administrators sit at the main campus. Many a times students feel at Kampala campus that their issues are not adequately addressed or even timely addressed. But you have been introduced to the administrative assistant, you have seen the Kampala campus director, so at no point should you feel that you have been left out. We appreciate you as much as we appreciate the other students at the main campus. Now, because you know these people, if you have a challenge, the Dean of Students has promised to be here every Wednesday. I am here, I think, every Thursday. Even the other deans who have students here, teach here. So it is important that you understand the days during which those administrators are here, and you meet them on that particular day if you don't want to go through the hard processes of maybe going to Kampala campus. But also the heads of department also teach here. So really there is no reason for you to feel that you have been treated as second class or any other class. We understand that we have students of different backgrounds, academic backgrounds. We have students who have gone through different forms of training. We have students who are sponsored. We have those who are self-sponsored. But we want to treat you all as equal. Because for us, what has brought you here is to study. But as you go through the studies, there should be some do's and don'ts at university. You may have come from a high school where the best way to resolve differences by rising up in arms against the headmaster, against the head boy, against the deputy headmaster, against the director of studies. We want to encourage you, we want to ask you that you don't resolve your differences in a peaceful manner. We don't want a culture in Nkumba University where students rise up against anything and everything. Before you rise up, let your issues be heard, natural justice. Let you present your issue first to the persons concerned, and when they fail, there is always an office above. Nkumba University is big yet small. You can approach any office, but before you go to any office, make sure that the responsible office, the primary responsible office, has at least had your case. So we ask you that among the do's, you have come here to study, please attend classes. Among the do's, please engage in group assignments when you have been given them. Please engage in group discussions for you to be able to understand the subject area very well. We have lecturers of different academic trainings as well, different disciplines. Different disciplines may call for different principles, may call for different forms of training. If, for example, you are here for social work and social administration, the kind of training that you will go through may not necessarily be the same as the one that our students from School of Sciences will go through. There are some which are general, but there are those which are specific to the discipline. Your staff, your lecturers will try to emphasize that. And when they emphasize it, do not think that the people before you are simply trying to be hard on you. I want to ask you, for example, to be good at time management. Time management. If you have seen your timetables, most of these timetables run from 7 until when the day ends. Now, I don't see reason why I should come in at 7 and you come in at 7:45. For me, if you are lucky or unlucky that you chose international relations, if I get in class before you today, I will let you in. Tomorrow when I get in class before you, I let you in. Third time, I don't let you in. You should be there before. It is not the lecturer to wait for you, it is you to wait for the lecturer. But you also will have class coordinators. Should it happen that the lecturer is not in on time, let the class coordinator contact the lecturer. It is not everyone to call. Should it happen that you also can't come to class, some of the lecturers will have their own notebooks where they record who attends and who doesn't attend. You might not see it, but at the end of the day, when they are awarding marks, especially the final mark, some will want to go back to if you attended classes and you will have no evidence, but he or she will have their evidence. So should it happen that you can't make it to class, let someone responsible inform the person that is in charge. I specifically want to refer to the ladies. We have, it is common practice in universities. It has run before in media platforms, newspapers, about sexual harassment and extortion. I want to ask you that you do not entice, do not present yourself, do not make yourself available to be sexually harassed. You are dealing with human beings. I'm not saying that the gentlemen we have are weak, but do not add kamurari to the soup. Let the soup have less salt. But if you keep adding salt and you also add kamurari, you're making the situation worse. So how do you avoid that? When you have been given coursework and asked to submit, submit when the others are submitting. Do not begin to call to give excuses of why you couldn't and propose Some of you along the way are going to begin to propose, sir, I can find you anywhere. That anywhere may not be put anywhere for you in the end. But if you feel that for you, you're ready to find the person anywhere, let it be your own making and do not attach it to the institution. Should it happen that for any reasons you have tried to reach this person in time, or maybe you were late by 5 minutes and the conditions have become rather difficult for you, you have reasons to approach any of the administrators for assistance. We want you to live as intact as you have come. That is if you're intact. But also, on the issue of extortion, do not, and this cuts across, do not also create opportunities for someone to ask you for facilitation for him or her to receive your coursework. That's why I emphasize the aspect of time management. If others are doing a test, where are you? Why do you want to be given that test specially? Why do you want a special arrangement? They give the first test, you're not there. Second test, you are sick. Third test, you have gone for burial. You need to prioritize as well. And also, do not force people, do not force lecturers to put them in a situation where they are going to end up asking for facilitation. For example, I give you an assignment. I come and pick the assignment. Yours is not there. And then you go, I say, I'm not coming back, I have finished. Sir, I can even give you transport. I don't want your transport. This institution pays us. So do not give us, extra monies for work that we could have avoided. Now remember as well, that every time you do these assignments late, you are standing a possibility of having your name not appear on the coursework because maybe they have already been assessed. And also at the end of the day, when we are looking at the final mark, you may have incomplete marks. So make sure that whatever you do is done with the others. When you get to these assignments, it is important that you keep a copy, especially if they are group assignments. When they have been returned, it is important that you keep a copy for further reference. When results are back, that is if you study, you do the coursework, you do the exams as well. When results are back, you also should make sure that you know your performance on a semester basis. Make sure you know how you performed before you move into and complete the other semester. That way, you will have a smooth travel, a smooth journey at Nkumba University. That is your purpose of coming here. Now, different programs also have different structures. For example, if there are any teachers here, you do teaching practice. And I think it is done maybe in second year. So you need to plan yourself early enough for you to be able to fulfill those requirements before that degree is handed over to you. Some of you may have come here, and also other schools. Social sciences as well does internship. So you need to plan again early enough. Some of you may have come from different institutions, but you are joining Nkumba. For us to consider you a first year in that particular discipline that you have chosen. If you have come from an institution where you already maybe took like a 1 year study, you may have to do exemptions. We call them exemptions. Those exemptions are paid for, but do not do those exemptions yourself. Make sure that you meet the head of department or the dean to have those exemptions clearly identified. And also, you know the remaining courses that you have to study for you to have the degree complete and within the specified period. If you have any challenges as you keep here, like I've said, you can meet any of the administrators around. And if all fails, you have contacts, you should be able to contact the administrators. Let me stop it at that and hope that you have a safe stay around. We are in a period of COVID-19. Do not disturb us by forgetting your masks at home. And also do not refuse to wash hands and say, I already washed there, because we want you to remain safe. Thank you for choosing Nkumba, and we hope you encourage others to join us as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Anna Baho. I think you have heard the remarks from Dean Anna Baho. Those who are in the School of Social Sciences, you are going to meet her throughout your 3 years. A testimony when she has told you she gives you only 2 chances. Most especially people who teach subjects to do with IRB. Most of them are strict. They give you 2 chances. To come late the 3rd time, as you said, you won't end. Those who are in School of Social Sciences and those doing IRD, put up your hands and you see. International relations and political philosophy. If it is being offered this semester, keep time. Please, the 2 ladies. At this juncture, let me call upon the director to give us his remarks, because he knows this center better than us who are here. Then thereafter, the new president and will talk to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dean of Students, Guild President, my colleague, Dean Anna Baho, Doctor. She's leaving now. The Dean of Students, the Governor, Kampala Campus, all protocol observed. Maybe I will remove my mask so that you are able to get me properly. But I'm wondering if those people behind are able to pick my voice. Are you getting me from behind? Because sometimes I move somewhere there so that you're able to get me. I was a student one time like you. But you know now where I am, I'm an old man. But I was once like you, a fresher at that. But we used to have what they call campus culture. And campus culture is different from secondary school culture. There's a lot of life at campus. So I would want us to adopt that when you are here. You don't feel like you are intimidated. You don't feel like you are in a situation where people are likely to torture you. We don't cane people here, fortunately, but we discipline in another way. So I will start by saying, Nkumba oye? Nkumba oye? Kampala Campus oye? The morale is very low. No, you should have that morale. You should have that vigor. That you don't have water, so they are going to give you water so that the morale comes up. So I've been introduced to you as the director, Kampala Campus. You may also want to know my names and all the details about myself. One is that I always tell my students, the girls, the boys, to call me based on their preference. So the girls like a Christian name, the boys like a surname. So the girls can call me Charles. Okay? While the boys can call me Edaku. A name with only 5 letters, Edaku. But my students call me Doctor. That's an academic title. That's the academic title that I acquired. And then, as an administrator, you can call me a director. Now, I'm going to speak as a director, not as any of the other. And for that reason, one, I'm going to talk about Kampala campus and how we are going to relate here at Kampala campus. First of all, let me take this opportunity to welcome you to a place better than home. So you are most welcome, and we thank you for choosing Nkumba University and particularly Kampala campus as your study campus. So when you are here, ladies and gentlemen, feel at here. Are you getting me? Don't feel at home. You feel at where? Feel at here, because at here, everything is very okay. Okay? As you can see, the faces are smiling. We are in the city. Everything is good here. So you might have some issues at home with your brothers, sisters, but here, those ones are not there. So feel at home, and you're most welcome. Now, specifically, how do we operate here? We operate here based on principles. There are particular principles and rules that govern our existence here. The dean, who represents other deans, the academic registrar who was here, has actually talked much about academics, and I'm not going to go into academics. I don't know whether the dean of students has already spoken. He could have also talked about student issues, but I'm going to talk about Kampala campus here. So when you're here, principle number one is discipline. You'll see us here with smiling faces. I want to follow Otafere's statement that fire, courtesy. You know what it means? When you are disciplined, you'll find us also very disciplined. And we shall interact with you as friends, as equals, as, colleagues. But when you are not disciplined, then you'll see the wrath from us. So we treasure discipline. I hope that one is clear. Number two, you should know what brought you here. What brought you here is education, teaching and learning. On our part, we have a responsibility to deliver to you. That is to teach. And that's why we are here as administrators, to ensure that the lecturers who are meant to teach you are there for you. And I don't work alone. I work with a team, including other lecturers, including the deans, including the administrators at the main campus. So we work as a team to ensure that teaching and learning is taking place. That's why you find that the timetables are supposed to be generated as early as possible. While that is our obligation, there is what we call the theory of reciprocity, reciprocal kind of relationship. That while we do our part, you also have your part to play. While we teach, what is your role? What is your role? To study, to learn. And Dean Abaho here talked about punctuality, meaning that you must come to class early in time. It is very bad indeed for a lecturer, for you to find a lecturer in a class, and tomorrow again you're finding a lecturer in class. It's better that a lecturer finds you in class. But again, attendance. You must attend religiously. I don't know whether you understand it. Attend religiously. A religious person does not misjudge. I expect you also not to miss your lectures. not to miss your assignments, not to miss anything to do with the teaching and learning here. Can I sip this a little? Maybe my throat needs to be better. It's fine. So you must play your part of attending lectures, doing your assignments as expected. That's number 2. But again, as you do that, don't forget about life at campus. It is at campus that you make friends. You make friends who eventually will help you out there. Because now at this point, you have reached a point of what they call a class of intellectuals. You've entered, you have been admitted to a class of intellectuals, people who think and who develop solutions to the problems others are facing. So in order to be part of that team, you need to build relationships. And when I talk of relationships, it's not the relationships that you know. This one is a boyfriend, girlfriend. Partnerships. Who is who can help you tomorrow? Because if I'm a friend to this gentleman, when I've got an issue, I'll call him and say, can you connect me to ABCD? If he has an issue, he calls me and I'm able to help him. I'm sorry, when I shout, my throat chokes. That's the problem. I will not go into details about that, but that is the issue. So I'm not supposed to be shouting. But because of those people behind, I feel I need to speak loud. So you need to build the partnerships, and it's those partnerships that will help you tomorrow. At one point, at the University of Sokoine, I think, or Dar es Salaam, Museveni was there. And recently, they led this gentleman here, Chive Jinja, was also there. And I think there are others that they studied with at that University of Dar es Salaam, I think. Now, eventually, when Museveni got the opportunity of becoming a president, where did he look to? To those persons there. That's what I mean. The relationships that matter, that you need to build. Okay? It's important at a university level. And not only here, but you also network with colleagues in other institutions. And I want to tell you one thing. It is at this time when you're at the university that you begin to build your future for the time when you go out of the university. I was told after the university, I went now looking for a job. I was an administrator, like this gentleman here. I was a vice guild president at Makerere, and I took over as the guild president thereafter, for reasons that I cannot explain here. That during that time, I also operated as a bull in the crowd. When I finished, I'd already made networks with politicians and the rest. When I went and said, can I have a job? One of them told me, Edaku, where were you to look for a job when you were still at campus? So meaning that the time I was at campus is the time I was supposed to build the networks and get this, so that by the time I finish, I would now be already having the connections. So I hope you are getting me. Those are the connections I'm talking about. And originally we would invite them for meetings, for conferences. But now I've finished. I'm now saying, my friend, can you help me? And that is the statement I got. So build these networks, prepare yourself for the life after campus. But again, also I want to warn you, life at campus is described in 3 words. Sweet, short, dangerous. It is sweet, short, dangerous. SSD. You're freshers, you look very innocent. But let me tell you, after first semester, when you come as in your second semester, you no longer look innocent. And that will be the beginning of the sweetness of life here. And you'll be told that, meanwhile, you have only 3 years if you're doing a degree. 3 years, now you have already almost consumed the first year. 3 years to enjoy this good life. So it becomes what? Short. It will be like the scramble and partition of Africa, because everybody said the resources are there, but if you don't get it quickly, you will now go when they have already taken everything. And you know what happened? People scrambled, partitioned Africa, and that was it. And others said even if the resources were not there, in the future we might discover those resources. So let's go and colonize. That is the life that you're likely to experience. You'll meet very handsome boys like this one, you see out there. You'll also meet very beautiful girls like this one's here, and you know, you begin there. It's dangerous. At the end of the day, I'm talking about the danger. So if you take that so much, the danger will be either you go with a capital D, if you're lucky, and have 2 degrees, one of a child and then the other one, if you're lucky. If not, you may only have this degree and have your child and you fail to graduate. That's the danger I'm talking about. If you're not lucky, you might even acquire. You know, there is what they call acquired immune deficiency syndrome. You know what it is? You might even acquire. So you have got to be extra careful. This is the time when you become a policeman of yourself, a policewoman of yourself. I hope you understand my words. When I say a policeman, your father, your mother, your sister, your brother, your uncle will not be there to tell you that do this the way they have been doing it. But it's now you to judge what is right and what is wrong for you. And do the right thing. Think twice and do what? Cut once. Are you getting me? For whatever decision that you make, think twice and then decide once. But otherwise, if you decide twice and think once, you are lost. That's life at campus here. It's dangerous. You begin running after us because we're likely to show like we have some money. I am married. He is married. I think many others. They are married. These men are married. Then you begin. She is married. This woman who was here. For men who are like you might look at that you want her. We are all married. So there is nothing that we need from you, and there is nothing that you need from us. The contract between you and us is one, for us to teach you and for you to learn. That's the contract. Finish that and look for your handsome men after. Finish that and look for your beautiful women after. And let money not be a bait. Life at campus is what? Dangerous. If you take a wrong direction. But it is sweet. If you're not careful, you will not achieve the goal that brought you here. That's number 2. Number 3 is about how we use facilities here. How do we use facilities at Nkumba University, Kampala Campus? We have internet here. I think you're aware. And we allow you 2 gadgets to be connected. You can choose to connect your phone and a laptop. The IT person will do that. Connect your phone. You are free to use the internet, but I would advise that you use the internet for the right purpose, for academic purposes, not for watching videos, playing games. No, you've not come here to watch videos. You've not come here to play games. I hope that is clear. Internet. What about the toilets? How do we use the toilets? When we came here, we had only sitting toilets. But girls kept on complaining, saying, you see, for us, we can't. So we created one squatting toilet in third floor. We can create others in other floors as well. And we have decided to open up. You share these toilets with the staff. The boys have their own, the boys and the men, the staff, have their own area. Why we are sharing is that we want to maintain discipline. I started with the discipline. When you go to the toilet, a sitting toilet, and then you begin to climb and you want to squat, that's not a squatting toilet. Wait for that floor. Because both the boys' side and the girls' side has a squatting toilet. So you can go to that floor if you want to squat. So we are letting it free so that we are able to share and learn whether you are disciplined or you are not disciplined. You can, if it's squatting, if it's sitting toilet, don't squat on it. Don't just climb on those things. You are the ones who break them. Then when you when you finish, do the right thing, flush. And after flushing, what next? Make sure you wash your hands and move out. And if you have flushed and things are not moving, because it depends on what you eat. Some of you eat very complicated things. You flush, the thing still remains floating. Are you going to walk away and leave it there floating? You must make sure that it has disappeared. And you know the techniques of making it disappear. So please use our toilets properly. And those are elements of discipline as well. Those are also elements of discipline. Now, canteen. It has been an element of nightmare. We've not had a substantial, suitable canteen here for reasons that I cannot go to. We get people, but they fail to run the canteen. We get people, they fail to run the canteen. So sometimes you want food, then you begin crossing these roads, and it's dangerous, of course. Crossing, coming. You had crossed in the morning, you are crossing break time, you are crossing back, you are crossing lunchtime. So there's several times you move there, anything can happen. But that is not your responsibility to find a suitable canteen. I'm only letting you know that that is so far one area where we have not fully. But you can also pack your food, pack your breakfast. It's cheaper even. Pack as you come. Then you top up whatever you can top up thereafter. The good thing, if you move on this side, the other side, you'll find a supermarket. When you also follow this line without crossing the road, this side, there's another supermarket. There is even KFC for those who are doing very well. You can have your meals at KFC, which is not very far, but you don't cross the road. As you work on this possibility of coming up with a better country. So that is one thing that I wanted us to talk about. The other thing is about theft. I, Charles Sedako, in that capacity, hates a thief like whatever you could be hating. Because a thief is the worst person you can ever have in life. That one, there is no compromise. Theft is totally forbidden. Do not even attempt, because if you attempt, if you survive, you will be lucky. Because the students who have been here are in the culture of looking out who is a thief. And when they get you, we shall not say don't pass the rough pen on the fellow. We shall allow them first to do some gymnastics and discipline before we rescue you. So if your hands are long, keep them at home. When you are here, make them short. When you go back home, you can make them long. But again, there are those who dare. And not only daring from you, but there are people who enter. They are of your age, but they find a way of sneaking into here. And they will pretend as if they are students of Nkumba University, Kampala Campus. And you will leave them with a laptop. They can even be with you for 1 week, for 2 weeks. And you say, I am not a classmate. Because sometimes you cannot tell who is who. So take great care of your property. We are not responsible for anything that you're going to lose or you may lose. People have lost laptops, they have lost phones. You just walk out there. You come back here, the phone is charging, you may not find it because you are in the city center. So don't do it the way you were doing in the secondary schools. So take care of that aspect of theft. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, is about you and us. At Kampala Campus, we work with our students as partners. You are our partners. And that's what it is. We don't want to take you as a nobody. You are not a nobody. You are an important person to us. Your advice can make us change the status quo here at Kampala Campus. And feel free, my office is open. And maybe any other person, if I'm not there, any other person, their offices will be open. Okay? So feel free to walk there, and I've never stopped a student from coming to my office. And you can come as many as you want. And I will tell you, sit there, sit there, sit there, sit there. As I'm handling him, you can be waiting. That's how I do my business here. I'm not bossy. I am not a boss. I'm not a boss. I am here to help you solve your problems. Because in an institution like this, there are normally emergent issues. And my role is to help you get out of those issues. So feel free. And also feel free to come with advice that here there is a gap. If we could do this, it's welcome. I've always said your child can advise you in a better way than an old man can. So don't lock these children away from you. So we work as partners. So to ensure that security of property here is guaranteed, you are our partners. To ensure that the toilets here are clean and kept clean, you are our partners. If you find somebody messing around with the toilets, you do something. Internet, do something. Chairs, do something. We want to groom a responsible kind of person here. That's what it is. Because we are preparing you for world of work. We are also preparing you for families. We don't want to see irresponsible woman, wife, irresponsible husband. We want to find a responsible wife, a responsible husband out there, and that grow their families. If given responsibility to own an office, we want to see a responsible officer. That's what it is here. Ladies and gentlemen, we may have another time to talk about these issues. I can't exhaust them all now, but those are some of the things that you need to take note of. One is discipline. 2, take note of what brought you here and the life at the life at campus. 3, how we use the facilities. 4, remember that we are partners. Okay? We are partners in this process. And lastly, which is 5, is that feel at here and bring for us more and more and more of your colleagues. Yes, we had been locked out because of the corona thing, but now that we are having the staggered kind of operation, we shall always run the physical classes where necessary. We are going to have a blended system. And maybe let me briefly talk about the blended. A blended system in that you'll have some classes running physically, but you'll have a Bigendera core. You know what a Bigendera core is? Who knows Luganda here very well? Do you know Luganda? What's the Bigendera core?
Other things are talking about
What you would call escort accompaniment. Some other things beyond the physical teaching will be put online. And don't hesitate to embrace or to do things online. It's part of the process. And I think the IT team is here. They're going to talk much on how to handle that. You know, we have phobia. When new things come, we feel like we are not able. But don't say you're not able. You should say, I am able. Let me try. And when you try, you'll make it. I beg to stop here. Thank you. A serious one, not like that. I'm talking serious. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much, Director Kampala Campus. Okay. We really thank you. It's really a pleasure listening to you. It's my first time listening to you talk to people, and I feel I should be commuting quite often from the main campus to come to your office as many times as I can to keep listening to you. Thank you so much for accepting to come and talk to us.
I will also take leave.
Please,
We shall meet again.
all right. Ladies and gentlemen, let us take the platform to invite our Excellency, the Guild President. As we see the Director move, we welcome His Excellency, the President, to have a word or two to us, and then thereafter we shall have the technical team, the team behind e-learning at Nkumba University. They will be taking us through the nitty-gritties of e-learning at Nkumba University. Thank you. Send you welcome.
Most of the people in the protocol disappeared. So in the interest of time, I respect the protocol. My name is Amagule Sande. I'm the Guild President for Nkumba University. And it is a pleasure to be here for the first time, and I'm welcoming the new students. So you're most welcome to this campus. We normally have a tendency as students that whatever people talk is the same. Actually, when we're in high school, we used to hate career talk because of that. We always have that phobia that whoever comes to speak to students speak the same thing. Sometimes it is not. Because how they used to be in the school when they bring OOTs, they always talk about how they have been running their affairs there, and it appears monotonous, and we don't like it. Please, this is university. One sweet thing about university is this is the beginning of either womanhood or else manhood. It is the only chance when you realize that you are capable. It is the only chance that if you are still fresh from high school, you are able to realize that you are now growing as a responsible person. It is the only time you realize that there are certain problems that they are supposed to be handled in this manner because you are taught professionalism. At campus, literally, you are taught Actually, what you are taught is professionalism. If you're a lawyer, they will tell you this is how you're supposed to dress. This is how you're supposed to talk. Because the lawyers have their own language of speaking. So they will always teach you in a way that you talk like a lawyer. If you're a teacher and you used to put on damage when you are still for the VAR, they will try as much as possible to tame you such that you talk like a teacher, else you do things like a teacher. To me, I don't want to bore you with a lot of words. I'm only going to give you my experience as a student leader and my encounter with the new students. Many of us normally have challenges. The first challenge we have is certain class of students will try to actually associate them very well with where they come from. You will witness, it is your first time, you will witness. There are students you are going to study with, they had been in other universities or else other institutions. They were there, they studied other courses or else certificate or diploma, then you join with them. There are others who either come from celebrated schools. When I tell you celebrated schools, you know in Uganda where there are certain schools where when you come from there, actually people think it is game over. As my experience as student leader, when we meet with the student leaders from other universities, the first impression people give is we are the biggest. Just before we went for election, we were called for a conference in Hotel Africana, all the guild presidents in different institutions. To my surprise, when we went there, you also know there are certain universities in Uganda where people will always try to say that we were the first. So they were asking us to talk about the participation of youth in violence towards the election and how we can come out of it. To my surprise, when the media people came, then the question was who should start the conference or else who should start presenting. The colleagues who were there pretending to be first among equals, they all signed off. Then one person came to me, he whispered, he said, "Can you start?" I started. I told them it is very absurd that they had called us when we were only remaining with either weeks or a month to election. It is like they were trying to fatten a bull on market day. You see, your bull has been very thin and you want to sell. So you wait for the time of selling the bull. You want to try to give this bull water. You want to try as much as possible to give this bull feed. Do you think you will manage to raise the weight that you want to sell that bull? No. So I was trying to tell them, right from when the process started, they didn't involve us as student leaders. And yet we command a lot of respect, by the way, from students. In Nkumba, I command respect from over 5,000 students. In Makerere, he commands respect from over 10,000 students. The same to UCU and other universities. So all these people have their supporters, and you knew they were important. Why did you involve us from the first time? So that statement alone gave room for conversation, and everybody was happy. I'm trying to tell you, where you come from, don't underrate yourself. That is the beginning of success. If you underrate yourself, you will not perform. Regardless of whether you come from a poor background, regardless from whether you come from a rich background, or else you come from a celebrated school, or your school is not known in Uganda, it doesn't matter. What matters is your ambition and what you want to achieve. Along that line, when you are destined to succeed, you will always succeed. I sit in a class where I'm the only person from the whole region. I'm a law student, now for my 4th year now. You realize that where I come from, I'm the only person who speaks my language. I don't even speak Luganda. Neither did I have a lot of money to attain the position, but I had money to facilitate campaigns. Those who will get time to go to many campuses will know how campaigns are done. People are spending over 30 million to do that campaign. But if you have ambition and you know what you want to do, you will achieve. And that explains why I'm the person to address you here today. Today I work with the people who are not from where I come from. My speaker here is from Eastern Toronto. My Prime Minister comes from Rugiri. My Information Minister comes from Barara. My Vice President is a South Sudanese. So, if you get the cabinet, it is a diverse cabinet, regardless of where you come from. So that is the first impression as new students you should have in your mind when you are here. Where you are heading your profession doesn't know where you come from. What matters is when you are given a chance to be a teacher, you teach the right thing. If you're a lawyer, you're supposed to represent a client, you represent the client ably. If you're a social worker, when you go outside there to community, know how to talk to the people. And that's what will sell you to the NGOs to give you jobs. If you are somebody who doesn't want to talk in front of people and you want to be a social worker, you want to be a public relations officer, so how are you going to relate with the people if you don't have those capabilities? Please, trust yourself, have the confidence regardless of where you come from. And don't undermine yourself. You should be like the last person to undermine yourself. I told my friends, the only person who has powers to undermine me is myself. Not even my parents. One time I sat in P7 and I got aggregate 15 in a village school. And my dad came to me and told me he had no money to pay me, send me to a senior one. So what he could best do was to come and tell me that out of each children, I'm the worst person in that family. Instead of telling me he has no money to facilitate all of us to study, the gentleman came and told me, you know what? I've never seen a child of mine like you. How can you get 15? As if even he himself got first grade when he was in primary. Now you see that. And that time I was so stressed until my elder brother came and said, no, this is not the way. The trick here is this man has no money to pay all of us. So he's trying to buy time. And up to now, I hate my dad because of that statement. Most of our parents are like that. When you do something little, they forget their weaknesses, they will concentrate on your weakness. Don't allow somebody to undermine you when you have the ability. So, from that up to now, I always told him, I want to be the first person who will do things that his children have not done. And I've lived that, I've proven them wrong. I've participated in students' politics right from senior one, which any of each child has done. So please, when you are here, this is the best environment where your potentials can be realized. Don't shy off. If you were in many campuses, I was going to warn you because of the beaches. But Intel is not a fact. I told the students there, the new students in many campuses, we have delicious fish near there. We have beautiful girls there at the beach. We have handsome guys there. We have, on top of that, we have rich guys there. For you, it is not different. You are in the city. You can be able to see expensive cars passing. You have the KFC I had somewhere there. These are things right now, as new students, they appear new to you, and you don't want to think about them. The more you get used to the environment, you'll start loving. They say familiarity brings beauty. There's my friend who told me there was a lady that they used to abuse. They could insult that the lady is not beautiful, the lady is like that. As time went, this lady was realized to be very bright in class. As these people are familiarizing with the lady, they realized that this lady was behaving well. Later on, the same guy who used to take lead in saying this lady was not beautiful became the sole owner of this lady. So right now, you may look at these things as things which are of other people, or else you don't have capacity. Maybe somebody is going to give you money, you will have the car. Maybe somebody will facilitate you will go to KFC. So the familiarity will bring for you beauty, and you don't realize that they are misleading you until you don't achieve your target. I'm very sorry. The last thing I'm going to tell you is Nkumba University as institution has values. The values are based in the 4 C's. The first one is competence. The second one is confidence. The third one is creativity. The fourth one is character. If you are competent, you will be confident. You can only be competent and confident when you have creativity. When you are able to realize that certain things have to be done within yourself, you create it. Nobody will come and tell you this is where money is going. You may see people moving with the money, you don't know how the money is going. Until you develop your own creativity, that's when you can get. Right now, they will tell you that all of you are first class. But by the time you graduate, you realize that some of your colleagues are not going to graduate. By the time you graduate, you realize that some of the colleagues will not get the same grade you have. It is because of utilizing the 4 C's. If you are creative and you are competent, even if you fail, you will be somewhere. But if you don't have all this, you will be nowhere. Please be competent, be confident, have the creativity to do what it takes for you to achieve. Then lastly, have the character. You can be the best person in class, but if you don't have the character, nobody will recognize you. So as a student leader, I continue to welcome you. I pledge for you my total support through the governor here. If there are issues here which are beyond her, I'm ready to address them. And I've never kept quiet since I took over office. My slogan was the voice you can trust and believe. And indeed, I've tried within my means to try as much as possible to ensure that my voice reaches, whether it is not acceptable or it is acceptable. It is where it's supposed to be. I don't cowardize. Please, when you are here, enjoy your time. Campus partly is for enjoyment. Nobody should deceive you. We are not here mourning. All the administrators will come and tell you that campus here, if you are this, it is what. One aspect of campus, it is sweet. I've never enjoyed anything more than being free and take my own decisions to do right things. What if they are always there locking you and you don't realize your potential? When will you know that you are the right person? Campus is sweet. Only that you attach other values to it and make it better. Thank you very much for listening to me. I apologize for taking long.
Wonderful communication. On behalf of the new students, Kampala Campus, we would like to say thank you for coming to talk to us. It is indeed that campus is sweet, but Your Excellency, we request that we enjoy campus with caution, because it might become sweetest and we forget the other values to attach. We would like to welcome the university bursar. Mr. Zinde, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining us. Your Excellency, you have communicated and you have passed on a lot of information. And one thing that has trickled my mind is the aspect of being yourself and not despising yourself. I always tell myself that I do not think, unless somebody in the house will wish to agree with me, who of us agrees that the sky is the limit for whatever you want to do? How many people want to agree with me that the sky is the limit? And how many people say, no, the sky is not the limit? How many? Personally, I don't think if the sky is the limit. The limit is myself. So the limit is yourself. You have every time to do everything, you have every potential to make yourself what you want. And the limit will not let you. The sky will not come to tell you this is the end of it. You will tell yourself this is the end of this. I have always said this to myself while I was joining in first year, that for every new student I joined with, we all came with one mind, to get a first class degree. Is there anybody who has come to second class, lower, second class, upper? We all want a first class degree, right? Come first March, man. As we step into that lecture room, we are starting to see whether we still have the first class or we are beginning to subtract. One of my lecturers told me, Rogers, you have come to get 100% in my course unit. So every time you step in for a lecture, you decide either subtract 1, or you subtract 10, or you subtract 50 in just one lecture. But you have all the 100 with you. So as time goes by, as campus is now sweet, it gets sweeter, and it becomes sweetest. You discover, like we all said, I want to be an engineer. While in primary, you get to senior one, first term, you want to be an engineer. Second term, you start to say, I think education will be good. As you move into senior 3, senior 4, you're like, no, I think I'll be an office messenger somewhere. Okay? So we all have the hundreds and the first classes now. But I would like to encourage us to continue with the zeal and move towards achieving what we want. It is very, very possible. Very, very possible. You can excel with a first class degree, super, and the university will retain you as a lecturer. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. At this juncture, I request to let us know that we've changed the program a little. We shall have the e-learning officers taking us through the e-learning process after lunch, but we'd like to grant a chance to our university bursar to take us through his policy at Nkumba University. Thank you, the speaker. I will join the people spoken before me to congratulate and thank, first of all, the organizers, which is the guilty, but at least letting their newcomers. There is a slogan they use, but not adapt it. It is out-fashioned. For me, and we as administrators, we refer you as new students. There is a slogan which I've forgotten, but I'll talk the name, maybe remember as I'm telling you the word, which is commonly used in universities, but we at Nkumba, we discourage it. Mr. Speaker and members, let me first of all take a few idea guidance, because I've worked in the Nkumba University for now 20 years. Before you were born, I was there. But one thing I've liked about university education, first of all, they have their rules and the guild, they have the constitution. One thing they don't have is the dressing code. You are free to dress as the way you feel. But university is the highest level of education. Representation, when you see these gentlemen, and I always tell them, they're ever smart. So there is no doubt that after here, this man deserves an office. He is very presentable. The presentation and the way you package yourself, the language you talk. When you talk, for me I go boxing every evening, but the members we sit with, when they have taken one, before taking they cannot talk English. When they take one, they start talking their small English. By the end of the day, you can differentiate who is educated and who is learned. The English you talk, let the other people ask
It's at the university. I've heard the English. It's talking. There are English which we talk when we are in the bush. They call it jargon English. Then, you know, each class has its own characters. Universities, it has its own setting. Ghetto have its own language and setting. When you are at the university, talk the university English. If it's in Uganda, you speak the Urdu, vernacular, whatever language you come, because here we don't discriminate. There are no cards for speaking vernacular, no. Don't expect those ones. But the English, the presentation, and the dressing code, it restricts you from the people who didn't join the university. You members, you are lucky. Who can tell me the number of students who start A6 by you the year you start? They are in 100,000s. But how come that you, the lucky one, you joined the university? So you are counted among the educated, not learned. You members, by the time you reach the university, you're educated. You are no longer feeling that no, but you are educated. Education means you are all around in the way you behave, the way you talk, such things. That's why you see these young men. For me, I was unlucky. I could not become a good president. I've never become, but I have served somewhere below such big men. And few in fact, we just had the race. People fighting for presidents. One, don't attach which president, but he's a president. He's our president. Eh? So he went through those things. You see what other men go through. So he also went through. So Mr. President, and actually, he's not all that old in office. He's new, but that one, let us come back to the finance side of Nkumba University. Nkumba University is a pure private university. Pure private university, whereby we don't have a godfather. Other universities have godfathers like the Muslims, they have their own universities. The Anglicans, they may have their own universities. The Catholics may have their own universities. But ours is a pure, actually, you can call it a Ugandan university. It doesn't have a godfather. So everything has to be paid for, either by you or somebody is paying for your education. For me, it's they call it these groups in the villages. When they sponsor you come to the university, please don't underrate them. They are financing for your long-time investment, lifetime actually. Money can buy you anything, but nobody can buy your entrepreneurship. Your brain, nobody can buy for it. And after you die with it. Me and you were so selfish that you don't pass on it. A little you can. But all of it, they will bury you with your education. And it will mark the end of you. So women must being the pure private, and I probably we don't have a godfather, but we have a policy. Policy that governs us, governing you. When these universities, we should thank the people who began in Nkumba University. I think I've seen some of you could not be in a Muslim university because you are not all that a Muslim. The way you behave, you know yourself. You could not be in a Catholic university because you know how you behave. Some of you are ex-seminarians. Then how can you go to the university where Catholics and say that I want to join? You already reject in that category. But we don't discriminate. If you're ex-seminarian, please, you are free to come to Nkumba. If they say that because you cannot join our Muslim, you take alcohol, you take the other thing, yeah? You know it, that for them. You can't join them, but for us, we will come in. And actually, at this juncture, let me appreciate and recognize you for having selected Nkumba University. You're welcome to Nkumba University. Nkumba University has policies of which, when we knew that, when they knew, because I'm a policy implementer, they knew that we could not afford the other godfather. They set up policies. It's the only the university that before COVID, during COVID, and after COVID, these policies will start. The only person who can let you pay in installments. Ugandans have money. They don't even buy vehicles on higher purchase. But if they can let you buy education on higher purchase in installments, if I was you, I would clap for that. We let you buy education in installments, of which we let you to buy when we joined Nkumba University, the first month, effective first, we use a system called the ZPay. That system, I cannot talk while the big men are walking in. I'll let him settle and continue. I'm not the person to introduce him, but I have to respect you. They will introduce him to you when time comes. I was talking about buying education in installments, and I've told you before COVID, other people are changing. They are becoming human out during the COVID. That's when they realize that things are not good. That's when they can let you buy in installments. But before COVID, during the COVID, and after COVID, this policy will stand, whereby we count a semester is made up 17 weeks. It looks small, but it's wrong. And it constitutes everything. That the gentleman, the MC said, it has given you 100%. It's upon you. The 17 weeks can come to 0 time. And that will mark the end of that paper week you will sit for, when you not utilize the 17 weeks. And after 17 weeks, for us, will count from 1st March. This is the orientation period, we don't count. The system I was talking about, the pay, will count you. And we have 3 types of students in Nkumba University. There is whom we call the applied students. Those are the people who count. They apply and they stop there. There are those people, either they qualify, when they qualify, they are admitted at Nkumba University and they are given admission forms. When you are given an admission form, you are given a registration number. And the team in IT, I think from here, we request that each and of you who is here walks away when you have an email. The communication starts. I said before, during, and after COVID, Nkumba is modern. You will get an email. And when you are registered student, when you are admitted student, when you pay some little money, however little it may be, but to register, you must have paid at least 40% in the first month. You are buying education. Remember where you come from. We work in our secondary schools without suitcases. We are told not even to enter the gates without paying a single coin. You know people. But at the university, you are told to pay the first month. In the first month, you pay 40%. The system starts counting on 1st March. Counts 30 days. After 30 days, when you have not registered, you have not paid any single coin, we charge you. You come in at a cost, where a system will charge you automatically 50,000. We call it late registration. We give you 1 month free to test the waters, but after 1 month, we request you to register with us. At least you have got something. You have made up the other doubtness you may have when you just joining Nkumba, you have gone away. So we request you to pay, and when you don't pay, you count the system, you find the system has already charged you. They call it late registration fee, or 50%, or 50,000, sorry. 50,000, you are done. Only it's fixed, not on percentage, but it's fixed. The lump sum for 50,000 will be charged. After the second month, you are required to pay another installment so that we can also facilitate your education, we pay the lecturers, we pay the water bills, electricity, and make other things in operation. We request you for the second month, you pay another 40%. And before you sit for the exams, we have a policy that says zero pay. You must have paid everything to zero. And when you pay everything to zero, you work with the administrative assistant and you will be in position to print out your examination permit at zero cost, because the system will let you free and you can print the examination permit. You yourself, you can even do it, but because of a little mind, of credit worthiness, it's the administrative assistant who is allowed. Administrative assistant, they will show them to you from various schools. You'll walk to him or her, and you'll be in position to print your examination permit. And you are ready to go do exam. That's after 15 days, because you have 2 weeks to sit for your exams. And you will be a bona fide student of Nkumba University. And after that, I think we will be also be able to continue with your employment career. However, to register on the system, as I said, you must first of all be registered and have a student's number. That student's number is attached to one student. It's not shareable. The moment it's given to you, I'm simple. Not simple, cannot share it. We are 2 different. You know, we are living in a .com age where computers are top of the day. They are not shareable. And you have a password. By default, we usually set a password, but which you are free to change at your own. We set for you a password, the IT gentleman will let you into that. You set a password. By them, we usually use phone number, because is there anybody who doesn't have a phone number, a telephone answer? Is there anyone? If there was anybody, I would contribute, but thank God I've saved my money. Everybody has, but I would first contribute. At least we'll have you connected. But since all of you are connected, by default, we set in the telephone number. But after, for secrecy, you are free to change it. The system can allow you to change that. And to go to the bank, don't wait for the bank slips. We don't, for organizations, we can take their bank books. But never trust anybody in Nkumba, matters the regular president, no, even me. Don't trust me with your money. We don't touch cash in Nkumba. Don't give him your money to anybody. Even the boyfriend, don't give him your money. If it's a girl, the woman friend, don't give him. At the university, some of you will start with people you are almost what? Others are calling me. So that you see, I'm the assistant pastor. And my duty for this month has been told to collect all the fees. Actually, the man will look very eloquent, smart, and very accurate. They are very smart. I'm told, have you paid? So are you going to after the lecture? No, you can go for the lecture as I take your money to the bank. Don't give money to anybody. On the system, we use what we call PRN, payment reference numbers. They are also not shareable. Once, however, time you log on to the system to pay fees, because it's when I told you can pay in installments. But when you log on, even if you make a mistake, 500,000, accidentally and type in 50,000, it will not give you already a reference. But when you realize that you've made a mistake and you log on again to pay, you could be, when you log on, these IT people take you through. I think I've had that this afternoon. And if you see you made a mistake, you log on again. Those are big 2 references. Don't say that, no, I wanted to pay 500 and now I've logged in and typed in 50, so I go and expect to the bank. And no, please accept and re-log on difference number. They are digits and you cannot follow the system sequences the way they are given. I cannot lie to you that I know what will be the next one. No, it's the system that generates it. And however, you can also, don't say that I generated it. It valid for 2 days, 48 hours. The system reference number is given 2. After 2 days, it will have expired. And when you walk to the bank, you don't need to carry the Bible, nor the encyclopedia with you, where you wrote it. If you are good grammar, you could cram it. But if you are not a good grammar, you can jot it down. Write it in your palm and walk to the bank and tell me, so mister, I don't see these figures properly. If you read for me, this is the number I have created. That lady at the counter and any bank, we have 3 banks which are connected to our system. We have Registrar, now commonly, before I changed the name to Abusa. Abusa Bank, we have DFCU and Stanbic. Those 3 banks, when you create it, don't be big that this one I created it and I saw my father has an account in Stanbic and waste time looking for Stanbic. No, the payment reference number you created, it will work in any of the 3 banks. Follow the nearest to you. You people, you are more IT than me. The nearest bank out of those 3, the nearest to you, walk in with that payment reference number. It will be reading your student's letter. I said that to be connecting to, if you know the password, you know your number, and you created it, just walk to the nearest bank out of the 3. I repeat them: Abusa Bank, Stanbic, and DFCU. When you get the payment reference number, you don't need an account. That now I have it, I want to know the Nkumba University account where I deposit the money. No. The system is connected to our account. And actually, if an account you made a typing error or reading error in the payment reference number, money will not reach the account. That the bank or staff officer will tell you that this is a wrong payment reference number. And actually, they usually refer you to either the IT or Nkumba University department or business department for rectification. Be keen on the photo, they call it photo. You create a ledger. A ledger is a photo that will be communicating with the Nkumba University. Be jealous, be mean. I don't know which one, other one that creates. Apart from being mean, you are jealous. And if you are not out of those 2, you are what? Not the opposite of those words about your passwords. I've told you, fortunately for you are studying mainly in the center of Kampala, the first city of Uganda, where everything is based. Conmen, we have few in every city because it's a new city. We have few in Mbalala because it's a new city. We have few in which other city? Mbali city. Where do you come from? Which city? Arua city. They are there. They have not yet moved. They are still concentrated in Kampala here, the oldest city of Uganda. Be very mean. Guard it jealously. The password. Some of you, when you love 100% plus 1. And the opposite of love, when you hate, that's when you learn to hide away your password. But when you love me and give me everything. Don't be like all that Catholics. Say all the Catholics that I hate that song. Hey, what will you remain with? For the password, don't give it away to your boyfriends. Don't give it. Elections are over. Don't expect something. Don't give it away to any man friend or boyfriend, women friend. Ladies, I tell you, those men you see there, make sure those who are outside this room, they're targeting young girls, only you. And one thing I don't know what is with the men. When you get near to ladies who are older than you, you become so soft. Please, the passwords, don't give them. One, others give, other things are yours, you give. But passwords, please, I request you, guard them jealously. I think I'll stop there unless there is a question. Allow me to have any question, any clarification, if any.
Do we have any questions for the university person? Please feel free. Yes.
And I'm approachable. You can meet me and stop me. I have a question. I'm very shy. I could not ask you there. I'll answer you.
I'm just asking about who is those referring students referring for?
The payment difference. The system. It's the system here. We have just no human interface. So that I can change and that money goes to my account, goes to my neighbor's account. No. The system. But yet you must have the student's number. Just you need to know your student's number and number of one with. The IT calling, I don't know, when the time comes, you really need to work with them, through them. You can serve a demo, don't you? Confirm it and you answer. You tell me when that time comes, but the system, you just need your student's number. Is anybody of you have registered? You have a number. Yeah? For what data I know, the number is composed of your wire, those are the first. But when it's created, it's linked to your what we call ledger. In finance, we call it ledger. And that does with all the payments. People who have done accounts at all levels, but you don't hit your salary, mathematics everywhere. There is what you call debit and credit, left and right. When you pay, your ledger receives. And for you lose cash, but your ledger will receive it, and it will sit there. Okay? Don't say, I will never gone, my man has gone. No, it's there on your ledger. You lose paper and have it on paper. Simple.
Any other question?
You had a question?
Yes, sir. My name is Nkumba University. My name is Yasi. In case I have something to have
Yes, I did. What is that? This new?
You see, what understanding fail. Because the question then like your students who enrolled in other semester but they didn't study, so they have transferred them to this semester.
So they
Naturally, yes.
they have been updated there. We have here students who are registered in the other disaster semester, and you didn't study, but you hope to have a new beginning this semester. You must have if you are to pay some money the other side, and you are not changing your password, none of your students number, that money actually you just need to top it up. Because the other one is already there in the system, but according to the system, we are demanding you overdue to pay. So you just need to top it up. It's okay. You don't need to create any new things. You just need to top it up and you will continue.
Friends, we say no more questions for the university council. This area is very technical. I want us to have as many questions as we can because issues to do with finances are not easy. I don't want us to leave the room when we are still working on the financial case.
When we are going, I want to know about this functional fees. I want to know about the functional fees. See that, is it proposed that we pay to the first semester? The functional fees.
Okay. When you look at your admission, it has two sections. There is what they call tuition and function fee. The function fee are things which are earmarked. Tuition is what we pay for for the services. But these function fees, they are earmarked. Earmarked how? Not, there are those who are standard, others are not standard. Under functional fee, we have medical, we have the guilty, we have meals and accommodation if you are a resident. Those are earmarked. You see? So it says they are paid every semester. However, there is a deduction every year of 50,000. Things like the identity card. When you make in the first semester, first year, registration, the system which we talked about, it is hosted, the IT medical will let me, it's hosted by a different person who keeps all our data, and we are subscribers. Is it Mr. IT? We are subscribers to that. Like you have an email. Your email, there is a system, there is a company that is helping you when you want to communicate to me. So that company, that's where we subscribe. And that's why we subscribe you annually. Actually, with the 50,000, that's why you see, in your first year, you pay, if you have to pay million fees. When it comes to the second year, remember, second semester, first year, you pay less, 50,000. The functional fees, those are the things that we jump away. And it is just every semester you have to pay for the functioning fees. But they're earmarked. When you pay fees is asked to know now he has paid, is in the other school will pay the lecturer. Lecturer has paid their salary centrally. But this functioning fees, you are subscribers to the guild. This is meant to operate and actually handle your, I don't want to say problems, they handle your queries. You subscribe to their office. They have a full office. Mr. President, you I think one day want to be organized and fail the people from Kampala to come and see our offices in the main campus. These people have offices. Actually, say a full government as you've had, they have the speaker, they have the prime minister, they have all the full ministry. And here also you have the governor. Well, okay, sure. You have the governor. You have also an office here. Those are the money you pay for, but they are paid every semester. They are not paid annually. They are paid on a semester basis. Maybe as you walk to town, somebody now, we've talked about being owned. On this juncture, allow me to give you my contact. And the official phone doesn't go off, but call on all the official matters. Call only on official matters. Diligently married to MTN 0772 46 1311 0776 0772 46 13 11. That's my contact. My email, the official email, it's B for ball, Z for zebra, I for ink, M for man, B for bear, E for elephant. So it is B, you don't have a mark, CBZIMBE. We have that one? At Nkumba University. Full and in lower caps. At Nkumba University. Everything in lower caps. Nkumba University, dot, Patonyeze, SC.UK. I took the other words because, my application may not be good. You may hear of a bill as there, but I gave you the introduction letter. Don't write it, B, bear, no. CBZIMBE at University.ac.uk. That's only on official matters. I send a fence where they don't allow me to go for outing. Don't call past midnight asking me for payment reference because by daytime it will have expired. Call me during working hours. I don't go out because they told me not to go out. I always keep myself in. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause. Please, a big one. Mr. Zimbi, on behalf of the new students, I'd like to say thank you so much for finding your time to come and talk to us, take us through the fees policy at Nkumba University, the nitty-gritties, the do's and the don'ts, and how to be very careful with our money. I thought when you say if you take your number because of content, in case we have been called, we will call you for security. Call me before. I did not know that we should call you before we are called. Thank you very much for the presentation. I would like to welcome Dr. Nazarius, the Dean of School of Business and Information Technology. Doctor, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining us during this orientation. Dear students, we would like to request us to have Dr. Nazarius say one or two to us in about 10 minutes, then we can break up for lunch. And then after lunch, we shall be coming back, and then we go into the e-learning process. I request us to be here at least earliest. Let's be here by 10 minutes past 2. So that we can get started around 20 minutes past 2. I don't want us to be very late this way. We should leave at least by 5 when we're completely done with everything. Doctor, you're very welcome. You could say one or two to us.
This mask might hide my old beards. And you may think this is a very young boy. I know the president is from the same place with me and Arua, so we don't have any problem. So, Nazarius Muhimbo Mwenderukanyandira are my names. And Nazarius Muhimbo Mwenderukanyandira. Mwenderukanyandira means just son of Rukanyandira. For those of you who might not be comfortable with the other language, I am a marketing scientist, and currently I happen to occupy the office of the Dean of the School of Business, Administration and Information Technology. Since I came in late, I may get a problem with the protocol, so I will only mention those I see here. Your Excellency, the Guild President, your entire cabinet, the Right Honorable Speaker, the Dean of Students, University Bursar, the IT team, all protocol observed. I am not good at speeches. I used to be a very good speaker, but I discovered it was not paying, so I abandoned that profession. So now I just simply speak. So if you like it or not, don't blame me. I abandoned that profession. Because I know time is not on our side and I normally speak a lot, I decided to write a few things that I should share with you. A very welcome to Nkumba University and particularly to the School of Business Administration. I am delighted to welcome you this afternoon. Today marks the beginning of your journey at Nkumba University. I had this similar experience on the 28th of August, 1994. All of you were not born, apart from Omurangira. And perhaps the dean. That is when I had my first orientation at the university, but I must say it was a very exciting moment. I had just made 20 a month before, and it was my first time to be in Kampala. And actually the guy who took me to university charged me, I think, almost the same amount, like from Kanungu to Kampala. Because there were no telephones, so I hired a special hire. I don't remember very well, but he must have taken the interior. Then he went to Samia, then he turned around via Mubano, there and we ended up in the university. In this case, I later on started walking on my own. So it was really challenging, but for you it is a different story. My experience at Nkumba in general and the School of Business Administration in particular is that there is warm and the community is welcoming. The environment is warm and the community is welcoming. And I hope and confidently believe that all our new students will find it so well. Nkumba University is a university in which every individual is valued and supported and encouraged to be the best that you can be. Like I told you where I have been sometimes, you will realize for us here, we shall not carry chiboko. When you check in my vehicle, I have a stick, but it is meant that when I arrive at my farm anytime, I use it for grazing. It is not for beating students. So for us at Nkumba, we shall not beat you. We shall not force you to go to class, but sincerely speaking, we shall always encourage you. If we find you doing the wrong things, we shall be there. Today is perhaps your most auspicious time to start your learning more seriously than perhaps ever before. Because at this level, this is when you determine the direction where you are going. You have been studying history, chemistry, physics, civics, everything you combined. But now you have started a journey of knowing where you are going. So it is the most serious period. You are always welcome to approach your heads of departments. At the School of Business, we have 3 departments, so there are 3 heads of departments. Your lecturers, or me, in the case of any challenges. My difference with the university bursar is that for me, I am available 24/7. You can call me anytime you feel like, provided I explain to Narongo, this is my student. Most especially if it is already calling. Feel free to talk and don't hesitate to ask for help. Please take note that the university you have joined is your second name, your second home, and we are your guardians. In particular, me, some of you, my daughters are older than you. So we are your guardians in a way, and we shall always be willing to help you. I wish you good luck. I wish that you start right away, because perseverance is the one which will bring you results. Here it is not good luck that I will stay with overnight prayers and then God will pass the exams for me. No. You go and pray, then in the morning you come and study very hard, and we shall be willing to help you. Tell it that at Nkumba you will not get a free degree. You must work hard for it. Because that is what we have always been known for. If you want free degree, sincerely speaking, I am not sending you away, but I am telling you are in the wrong place. Therefore, you need to work very hard. I owe you. Dr. Nazarius Muhimbo Menekanya.
I want us to organize ourselves and give a very big round of applause. Doctor, thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. You've been very brief, but very interesting to listen to. I'm sure even the hunger has disappeared, we still enjoy it. And then I wonder why you left the speaker.
I was speaking after my boss. I never wanted to take it.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Really, thank you so much for coming. I would like to take us through what will happen immediately as we return after lunch. Shortly after lunch from 2:30, we shall be having the academic, the e-learning office as we move through what happens in the e-learning. Then after that, we shall have, today we have two ceremonies to perform, the swearing in of new students, and then the swearing in of the new leaders of Nkumba University Kampala Campus. And that will be that exercise will be carried over by the Vice Chancellor. So we expect the Vice Chancellor to be with us in the afternoon. So I would like to request everybody that as we break up for lunch, please, let's mind of time. Let us also deep down into the city to look for what we are going to have for lunch, because I expect us here by at least 2:20, so that by half past 2, we can get started, so that by 4, we are completely through with everything. The e-learning officers have a lot that we need to break through. Otherwise, I will request one of us to bless our lunch.
Oh, thank you very much. I forgot to give you my contacts. This man, I have seen you have first of all written my name wrongly. The name is N. Nazareth, not Lazarus, the poor man. I am not poor, and I have no intentions of becoming a poor man even for one second. So N.A. Nazarius, and I am on 0772 670 348. You people, you write WhatsApp, it is 0702 70 96 36. My email is ARUK ANA something like Rukana and both Gmail and Yahoo. Okay, thank you.
Doctor, I request that before we leave, we have Margaret take us through the blessing for the lunch.
Oh, fine.
you very much, Margaret.
At least I have had amen, though I did not hear the prayer.
Nice appetite, nice luncheon.